Hey, what's up, everybody? This is New York City Hardcore 1973. How's everybody doing? Yeah, it's been a few days, maybe a week since I put out anything. Last time was a rant about Earl David Warden, I believe. This time we're going to be talking about the riots, the looting, the burning, the senseless and unnecessary violence against innocent people by the rioters and looters, all because they have a difference of opinion than they do. And the biggest uh, offenders of this is Antifa. I call them Clan Tifa and Black Lives Matter. Uh, Basically, it is stemmed to just about every single Democrat city there is in the United States. There are some that it has not hit yet. Uh, Damn, that light is like glaring right in my freaking eye. And basically, the latest news with the police officer from Atlanta who everybody believes is being railroaded by the city district attorney and the mayor for political gain. Everybody's saying that the cop should go to jail, and the evidence just does not show it. It doesn't. What's the word I'm looking for? It doesn't make the DA's case. For the simple fact was that Rayshard Brooks pulled up to Wendy's and he even told the cop that he was here to get some Burger King. He was that drunk, he didn't know he pulled into Wendy's. Then he pulled into the drive-thru and fell asleep for a good, I don't know how long it was before that he was sleeping there, that people were trying to go around him until someone called 911. Then the cop showed up, and the cop said it took him 5-10 minutes or whatever it was to wake him up. Well, when he finally woke up, his eyes were glassed over, they were red, and he was slurring his speech, and he was able to smell alcohol emanating from him. At which time he told him to pull the car over to a parking spot. Many people are saying, oh, he was parked waiting for somebody. You don't fall asleep waiting for somebody in the drive-through lane. And he wasn't the passenger. A lot of people are also saying he was the passenger of the car. No, he wasn't. He was in the driver's seat. He was driving. And a lot of people are saying that he wasn't driving. So how can it be a DUI? Well, when you drive a car, well, let me rephrase that. When you're sitting in a car behind the wheel and the keys are in the ignition and the car is running, that is the same as if you were driving the car. You are still responsible. You have when you're driving. So therefore it is considered, even if you're parked in a parking lot, you're still considered it to be driving, because you have control of the vehicle. Now, had he pulled into a parking spot to sleep it off and put the keys, say, in the glove box, then they wouldn't have gotten him for the DUI, and more than likely cops would have never been called. But when he got out, for 40 minutes, everything was cordial. The cop wasn't uh, being rude to him. He was being the nicest he could be, and it was a civil conversation going back and forth up to the point after, or after rather, the officer took his BAC with the breathalyzer and he blew a 1.08. That's above the legal limit, which is .08. And then when the officer told him to put his hands behind his back, that he was under arrest for a DUI, and he only got one handcuff on him before Rayshard Brooks started resisting arrest with violence. It took both cops to get him down to the ground. Rayshard Brooks was throwing punches. Rayshard Brooks also got his, with the hand, I'm itching my leg. He got his hand on the officer's taser. Rayshard Brooks got up. He ran. The other officer who had the taser ran after him. Rayshard Brooks turned around and fired the taser at the officer, at which time the officer returned fire with the taser. It was the other officer who ran up seconds later is the one who fired the 3 shots. Under Georgia law, anybody can have a taser or a stun gun. Perfectly legal for defense. But Rayshard Brooks used it in an offensive manner because he was trying to elude police on being arrested for the DUI, plus the fact that Rayshard Brooks is a convicted felon. He was only just recently released from jail, doing 7 years for abusing his children and beating his wife. He got out early because of COVID-19. They released everybody to make more room, to lessen the chance of anybody getting contracting COVID-19. Rayshard Brooks also has an extensive violent history. He has been arrested multiple times. Okay, so now with the taser, now with the fact that he used the taser in the manner that he did, now under Georgia law, if the taser is used in the manner that it was used, it is now considered a deadly weapon. Therefore, the officer had every right under the law, the way it is written, to have used deadly force, which he did. And then he's getting railroaded by a DA who is under investigation himself for sexual misconduct and theft of something. I'm not sure what that was about. I only just read that today. 2 weeks ago, he even said the taser used in a manner that is used against law enforcement, it is considered a deadly weapon in the state of Georgia. And in this case, because it is a police officer who shot him because Rayshard Brooks fired at him, now he's trying to railroad the cop, saying he had no reason to shoot him because he wasn't presenting any, he didn't present a reason for the cops to shoot him. He's full of crap. Every cop, even black sheriffs, black sheriffs from other states are coming out and saying, no, that cop was justified. And then, of course, they burn the Wendy's. What did Wendy's have to do with it? Why? Because they're the ones that call the cops on Rayshard Brooks? Oh yeah, that's really adultish, real mature to burn somebody's business. Now people are out of work. They have to get relocated and hope that those places where they're being relocated need the help. Otherwise, they're not going to work. So real smart on their case. Then come to find out, it was the girlfriend, not the wife, the girlfriend of Rayshard Brooks, who's the one that started the fire at Wendy's. Plot thickens. So now, more than half of the Atlanta Police Department have all called out. They're not coming to work. They can't answer calls. Now everybody wants the police. Before, the police are bad. Oh, bad police. Blue line gang. Now they need them. Well, guess what? The people of Atlanta have made the bed that they're in. They caused this. They caused this by letting this DA and mayor to run the city and county the way they are. I know everybody is tense, and it all stems from the riots in other cities such as Minneapolis. And I do hope that cop, if he is found guilty, that he is held to I hope a flame is held to his ass. But they have to prove it. They have They have to prove the intent first. That's all they got to do. But once they prove the intent, until then, nobody knows. And then you have the riots everywhere else where there's looting. They're setting fires to businesses. They're setting fires to residential structures. They're setting fires to houses. They're burning police cars and anything else that they can get their hands on. Majority of the people that are doing this, I don't know why, it looks like I'm looking off to the left. That's a little bit better. Excuse me. They got to, this is all Antifa and Black Lives Matter. I don't believe everybody, every rioter, every protester is involved, but I do know Antifa and BLM, Antifa being a terrorist organization and Black Lives Matter being a racist organization, that they have something to do with it. It is just a matter of time before the government gets involved. And when the government gets involved, the president will enact the Insurrections Act by allowing or authorizing the military to use whatever force necessary to end this. Because the cops are not able to do anything. They're being ordered not to do anything by the mayor. Well, by the higher-ups in the police department. And it is the mayor who is ordering the higher-ups not to do anything. Well, those mayors need to go. They need to be fired. They need to be voted out. Okay? All this could have been stopped by the mayor had they grown some balls. And if they refuse to, it now falls on the governors. The governors can step in. And as far as they went was sending in the National Guard. The National Guard isn't doing anything. All they're doing is standing in line. And this is, I'm sorry, but with everything that's going on, it's no longer about George Floyd. This is a racial issue. There are a bunch of crybabies out there that believe something that happened 150 years ago, everybody who's white is responsible. And that's not true, because my family didn't own slaves. And that's all this is a racial issue. This has it's also political too, because I also believe that the Democrats are quite involved with this, since Antifa is a Democrat funded and supported group, because George Soros is the one who actually funds it. And if people don't know anything about George Soros, he is a hedge fund billionaire, and he's from Hungary. But back in the day, during World War II, he was a Nazi collaborator. He assisted the Nazis in forcing all the people in his town to get on trains that were headed to concentration or death camps. Prior to that, they stole all their worldly belongings, gold, silver, you name it. And in a 2020 interview with the old news channel, not the year, he admitted to being a Nazi collaborator, and he said it was the best time of his life. He was also a Nazi youth. They were called werewolves at that time. And yes, George Soros is Jewish, but before the Nazis or German army showed up, his family left, and for whatever reason, George was kept there and under the care of a family friend who happened to be a lawyer, I believe it was, across the river. A fake birth certificate was made with George's name on it, and it said he was a Catholic, and he was supposed to be the nephew of the guy that was taking care of him. But this is to try to make Donald Trump look bad, to ruin everything good he has done, such as the economy, jobs, you name it. But this shit is ridiculous. This rioting and shit is ridiculous, and now they want to threaten to come into residential areas in the suburbs. Well, let me tell you, you try coming out where I live, in the county where I live, and many of the other counties, you're not going to make it out. I'm just letting you know. We got a lot of people who spend a lot of time up in trees waiting for deer to show up. So you take that for what it's worth. Take that as a warning. I probably went off track quite a few times, and I apologize. Like I said, I'm not good at this, and only in time will tell I will get better. There's other things I'd like to talk about. Unfortunately, no one wants to have a live chat, and when I do show up on a live chat, no one pops in. I'm still trying to learn everything, so like I said, it'll just get better with time. So we'll see. because there's a lot of the First Amendment auditors that I'd like to discuss with the things that they do wrong. So we'll see. All right, folks, I'm gonna head out now. Like I said, it's just a rant. That's all this is. You can leave your comments. I'm up for constructive criticism, like I've said before, and let me know what I can do better, and I'll take it under advisement. And if you like what you see and hear, click like and subscribe, and just help me out. That's all I ask. Alright, folks, you have a good night. Be safe. Keep your head on a swivel.